Hello. Do you hear the fan or everything's okay? Hello. Okay. This is the first time I'm doing it this way, so bear with me. I'm actually not using the usual platform I use. So I'm trying to remember how I was able to share the screen. Oh, there you go. Okay. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Darren. Okay, there you go. What happens? All right. Okay. Hi. Hi, everybody. Okay, this is an experiment. I'm not sure. Oh, my lipstick is. Okay. I'm using this new lipstick. It's not really new because I've had it for a while, but this is the first time I'm using it. And my white hair showing. Um, have that. You hear me okay? I bought it in Korea, but I kind of like the color. I also like, and then I have a darker one. I like the darker one more than the lighter one. MLB made it. Hi. So this is exclusive for you guys. I'm supposed to let the Patreon subscribers, some of the tiers in Patreon subscribe. I'm not sure if they can, because as I've said, this is the first time I'm actually do it here for it. This is the first time I'm actually doing it this way. So I do have a forehead. I actually did it. I did my hair this way because I hate the bangs that I accidentally got. I wasn't. It wasn't supposed to be that short, but I did the trick where you twist your bangs and then you just cut it. And this is. It was like it ended up being here. I'm just like, oh my god, it's so horrible. Okay, so we're going to be talking about brand power today. I promised you guys that I will be talking about things that I don't normally talk about in the usual live. Hi, Sarah. Primarily because if I talk about these things, um, you know, we have a lot of like closet solos in that are watching the live stream, and they're going to make an issue out of nothing. And the truth is that just because I'm a marketer, this is our job. This is part of what we do. Hi, Alta. Just after 9 in the evening, can hear you perfect, and you look stunning. Oh, thank you. So yeah, so the some things I don't usually talk about, or I avoid talking about, or at least avoid going very deep into those things because we have some closet solos in the group is what I hi AGL. Oh my god. Like okay, perfect. Because it's like this Alta and AGL I don't usually, at least I don't usually notice you in the general chat. So it's I avoid talking about certain things because we do have a lot of closet solos in the chat in the live stream, and I don't want to invite their participation. So some things that I want to talk about, I'll just talk about here. Um, and also some other things I've mentioned to you that I will be sharing with you the process of me building Asian entertainment and culture. I will like and it's the entire process, not just the outcome, but like even when we're trying to get some grants, or at least we will try to get some grants, we'll try to get some funding, all of those things. So we will do all of that, and I'll share. I'll share with. I'll share with you all of that. In fact, I'll share some of it after I do my presentation for the brand bar, and I also talk about other things, not just BTS, but other artists as well, and other, not just from Korea, but from other countries. Just whatever I feel like sharing, I'll do that. So I turned off monetization for this because you guys are already paying, so you don't have to get to bear with the commercials and all. Um, Hi, Abron. Okay. Arlene, Darren, Alta, Sarah, AGL, Cindy, MLB. Okay. Hi. All right. Let's start. How's that? Okay. Let's see. Okay, so that's the disadvantage when I have, oh, maybe I can do it this way. Yeah, there you go. So I can see you guys' chat while I'm showing it to you. Okay, so I've mentioned several times already, I've spoken about like the brand power of the boys. And it's really, measuring it is complicated because for you to actually like really determine their brand power and have an idea on how strong they are as endorsers or in representing a brand, you actually do need some access to the numbers of the company. And even if you are, and that requires being working in the industry, or at the very least, that requires working in the industry or actually working for the brands themselves. So hi Bang Luna. So I did work for about 15 years in the advertising industry. Yeah, 15 years for the advertising industry. Oh, no, less than that. Sorry, 10 for the advertising industry. And so, you know, and I work for one of the biggest advertising agencies in the world. It's DDB Worldwide, if you guys want to check it out. So I have established a lot of contacts, and that they are the ones that I usually call if I want to really know some things. Sometimes they'll answer me, sometimes it's if it's really, sometimes they won't. So I'll share this with you because some of this I got from them. But let's first talk about their Instagram engagement rate. And we will talk about Instagram engagement rate of other artists as well. And I'll explain how that is actually generated. So, first, what I am going to present to you is all time. Many of the things that you will be able to generate, and I'll show you how to generate them, you can actually for free check the brand engagement, or the engagement rate of the boys and others, whoever it is that you want to check. You can actually check them online for free anytime. So but what I'm going to be showing you is all time, so it's not going to exactly match what you're going to be seeing on the platform, because usually most of the time it's either you will find free tools to measure the brand engagement on IG and YouTube and other platforms. Usually that's either 24 hours or last 28 days or last 7 days. And if you're a free subscriber, you don't usually get a chance to choose how you're going to filter them. But what I'm going to be showing you is all time, and this is usually automated. So for example, for DDB, they develop their own platform that will measure the brand power of people. And then we also have the ability to sort of filter things so that we can get what it is that we want to get. So, for example, for BTS, okay, I'll show you samples. Go to BTS. And okay, so let's follow. So this is Te. Okay. So most of his comments are off. But there are times when he would open it. I guess it depends. He'll probably open it if it's for a brand. If he is posting it for a brand. So for example, this is open. Oh sorry, we closed it. But you can see there it's 41,000 comments. Oh, here you go. So this one is open. It's not showing, but this one's open. This one's also open. And I think this is also for a brand. Oh, there you go. So you can see some of his comments, right? And the pattern that I saw is that he would usually open them. I think I think if it is for a brand, if it's posting it for a brand. So yeah, those are open. So I think I don't know what brand this is for, but probably the one that he's drinking. Or maybe it is for Celine, or maybe multiple. We don't know. But it's closed in some, like this two, they're closed. but oh, he's been opening it a lot. So the problem is that, for example, if I measure his brand par, the way that we measure it with that, when the comments are off and versus when the comments are on, they're different. They're two different formulas. He was open when he did it with JK, but it turned off after. I think some rushed. Some just rushed and commented after the fact the comment were off originally. So yeah, so the way that we will measure the brand engagement on IG, it's different if the comments are off versus the comments are on. There are other members that would occasionally open it. I think I saw Jimin did it several times. So let's go to Jimin. Maybe I need to do it when with my okay. So for Jimin, for the most part, Jimin's is off, but there are a few posts where he actually opened it. So the ones that are with very few comments, those are limited. So just his bandmates are allowed to. There was this one post of his that was actually on, and I think it was for a brand. Look at that engagement. This one is on. It's for the theme song, the OST. So this one's on. So there are times when he would actually turn it on. So, but those things, like if when we're measuring things, we have to be mindful of those things because then it's going to muddle the actual computation. So okay, so that let's go to that. So that what you're about to see is this is all time. Okay, now if you want to be able to check the brand engagement of some of the okay, it's not supposed to, some of them you can okay, you can go to this link, right? Okay, so you just link, you want me to paste it in the chat? Okay, so if you go to that link, you can paste any IG account and it will compute the brand par, or the brand engagement, sorry, the brand engagement in the last 24 hours. Okay, so let's see. This is me. Let's go check J-Hope. So this is just, but remember, when you compute it, it's just the first 24 hours. It's just the last 24 hours. But I don't know what the cutoff is. So this is J-Hope. You just click that and then check. And then it's going to generate a very general engagement rate for you. So it's 6.53% for J-Hope in the last 24 hours. So there. Now, one of the things that you will observe, for example, for J-Hope, is that there are comments and posts. So because as I've said, some of them would usually open their comments and they generate, the platform also sees that. But you have to take that out. Um, so we have, that's why we created our, sorry, not we, but DDB. That's why DDB had to create their own platform, because we need to filter errors like this, right? Because if they're computing the last 24 hours and the last post that he didn't have any comments, then there's an error there. Okay, so that's why his is very, very low. Okay, let's go to the brand power of each member. Questions. So this is the summary page, and this is all time. Um, this is so I think it's expected. Jungkook, and this is his old account. Okay, not the new account, because the new account, there's virtually nothing there. There's nothing we can measure. So for Jungkook, for the rest, it's the current account that they have, but for Jungkook, it's just the old one that he had. So he's 19.92%. And then next to him is Jimin, 8.30. And then I know this is going to surprise a lot of people, but Suga is 15.85%. And then V, I'm saying surprise because there seems to be like an order, right? It's always like Jungkook, Jim, and V. But, well, Suga is 15.85%. I remember this is just IG engagement rate. V is 14.31, not far behind. This Jin at 4.10. And then J Hope all time is 11.4. And then RM is actually 9.71. Okay. E- Okay. So let's go there. Let's try that. Uh, you can't see the chart. Okay. I'll do it again. I realized that I was actually in a separate page. Okay. There you go. There's the boys. All right. So usually, as I think it's expected, that Jungkook has 19.92%. And this was using, as I was saying earlier, we used the old account that he had, because the new one is empty, so there's nothing that we can really compute. So but in the old one he had 19.92%, and then Jimin is at 18.30, and then Suga, as I was saying, maybe a lot of people are going to be surprised, but he's third, 15.85. V is at 14.31. Jin is at 14.10, 11.84 for J Hope, and then RM at 9.71. So if you can observe the difference between the first and the last, that's huge, right? This is all time. This is all time. And then the other thing that you have to consider when DDB, I keep on saying we, when DDB was actually creating their own platform, is that you have, so for example, because the computation, the formula to compute the brand engagement includes follower versus the likes, and then another one that has follower versus comments. But then you have to be conscious about the number of followers that they had by the time they made the post, right? So if you compute everything now, it's going to look different because you're not computing real time. And you always have to consider the number of followers, because their number of followers either grow or it declines, whatever. So if it grows, then you have to compute the likes and the comments at the time, at the number of followers versus the number of followers they had at that time. Does that make does that make sense? Jin has on his concerts. So yeah, I did it last night. So this is but the number is actually all time. So that's the consideration. That's why this number will look different from the number that you will generate if you check those free tools like the one that I just showed you. Because you always have to think about the likes and the comments versus the number of subscribers they had at that time. Okay. So it's a complicated thing, but I'm happy that they created their own platform. So right now, for example, this is Hype Auditor, which is the one that is most commonly quoted online, primarily because it is free. It's easy to access. But right now, if you look at it, Jimin's engagement rate is gonna appear. It's 13.53, and then he has 55 million followers right now, 7.4 million likes, an average comment of one, which is, well, because his comment section is actually off, that's why the average comment is one. But what's interesting is globally he's ranked in terms of engagement eighth worldwide. um, and that may not be true. Again, that's why DDB have to create their own, because there's a lot of inconsistency. So he's probably on the top five worldwide of all time. And then in the country, he's ranked second. This actually Jungkook is ranked first. Who's at the top 10? Ronaldo, Messi, and then BTS. Ronaldo and Messi are the two, and then BTS. And then I think there's one that's like a dog account. I can't. I'll take a look at it again. But those the top two, Ronaldo and Messi. Okay. So and then if you look at Jin, 6.75 engagement rate, 3.5 million likes, estimated reach at 8.3. Um, and then so if you have a paid account, you actually will be able to determine how much they can charge per post. So here their estimated post per price per post, if they are going to do that, they don't do that. But if for example they decide to accept um, paid posts on IG, this is how much is going to charge, which is very very small. That's not true. 131,000 is not true. So just as a okay, we'll get to that. All right. Just I'm just showing you some examples. And this is J Hope. His engagement rate is 6.53. Average comment is 13.9. Average like is 3.4. And then followers 52.8. Global rank is number 22. Country rank. This is you see this is why we had to create sorry DDB had to create their own because country rank 7 in Iran. That's not relevant to me. Like if I'm a brand, I don't care about who's number 7 in rank. Usually it would be who's number their country rank in the US, right? Okay, so let's go. This is the computation that I was talking about. So for you to generate in on Instagram, for you to generate the engagement rate, it's usually likes, comments, saves, shares divided by the number of followers multiplied by 100, or it could be um, likes, comments, saves, shares, post reach multiplied by 100. All of this, the likes, comments, save, shares, and post, you can actually get it in IG. So if you have an IG account, you can go into the analytics and you will be able to see all of that. So essentially, the platform that DDB created pulls that automatically and then it computes. But again, just want to emphasize that the one thing that DDB and other platforms of advertising and marketing agencies have that others don't is the fact that they do consider the time, right? So it's ha- it's all of this and then the number of followers at that time that they generated that formula or sorry that generated the numbers. Okay, all right, so that's one computation. On YouTube we can measure the brand power of all the accounts, but YouTube, it's likes, comments, shares divided by the total number of views multiplied by 100, and that's your engagement rate. Okay, and then if you want an advanced version, you do likes, comments, shares, new subscribers, total views multiplied by 100. So the thing here is that all of these things does not take into consideration whether the comments are negative or positive. That's why I keep on mentioning to everybody that if there is a rage bait post, do not engage, because no matter whether you're debunking it or any kind of engagement that you give that post is going to go into their engagement rate equals brand power. So the platform itself does not care whether it's good or bad. For as long as it is engagement, it will compute. So don't waste your time engaging in them. The other thing that we do need to note is that none of the BTS members actually accept paid posts unless it is included in their contract. So, for example, for V, he would pay in his contract. IG posts are actually included. So, but it has to be a part of a package, and also Jin, sorry, and also Jin. So the paid post is actually the post that they need to post a certain number of times whenever there is an event or activity. Those are included in their contract. But as a one-off, that's what we call if there is no brand deal in place and it's just a one-time post or several posts, they don't do that. But they would be commanding an incredible amount of money if they actually do that. So that's the next question. How much will they command per post should they accept their offers. So BTS engagement rate is actually unheard of with the number of subscribers that they have. Meaning there are other celebrity no sorry there are influencers on IG that are generating 15% engagement rate, 20% engagement rate, but never as big as they are. So they're a league of their own. We've never seen anything like this. The kind of engagement rate that they have is unprecedented. No other account with that size has ever made a post per deal. You mean the Bora bots are good engagements? Yeah. The Bora bots are apparently good engagers. So if they ever decide to, let's just say we will compute how much they can charge. This is actually how we compute it. It's usually engaged users equals the number of subscribers that they have multiplied by their engagement rate. So it would be, so an average 9.35 million people interact with their posts. That's their engaged users. So that's the first thing that we need to generate. If I'm going to compute, like for example, if RM says, okay, I'm ready, I'm going to do a one-off post, one-off engagement with brands just on my IG. This is the first step. I will need to get the number of engaged users. Do you hear the construction outside? So that's the formula for engaged users. The total number of engaged users multiplied by the engagement rate. Okay. After that, I will then do a CP or a CPM faintly. Okay. Oh, yes. Oh, let's see. Is it loud? A little bit. Is it loud? Is it like, I don't know what to do? uh, okay. No, not loud. Okay, perfect. So it's usually about 25 cents to $1 per engagement. I can ignore it, no worries. Okay. So so if we do, so there are two ways we can do it. There are two ways we can pay a celebrity, either cost per engagement or cost per mile. Cost per engagement is would be the number of engagement that he's going to get that with that post. So not just the number of people that will see that post, but the number of people that will engage there. So for example, and that is more expensive. The if we pay per engagement, that is more expensive because per engagement it's about it's about $25 to $1. So imagine if he gets like 1 million engagement, then we're going to pay him $1 million for that post, right? Or we can also do cost per mile, and that is the number of people that will see the post, but that's cheaper. So it's usually about 25 to 50 per 1,000 follower reached. Okay, reach, not necessarily number of followers. Okay. So this is the rate per engagement. It could be 25 cents, 50 cents, or $1. Remember, I'm computing 55 million subscribers at 17% engagement rate. So if we pay 25 cents, then per post, we are going to be paying him 2.34 million. If we pay 0.50, then we're going to end up paying him 4.67675 million per post. Unheard of. And if it is $1 per engagement, which is probably where the bank and the boys are going to end up in, it's going to be 9.35 per post, right? Okay, so crazy amount. But do remember, this is just a reality check. The floor price per post for someone that has that many subscribers is 1.5 to 2 million. So we have actually experienced paying some influencers, some celebrities this amount. The average though is 3 to 5 million per post for major campaigns, and then high end is about 8 million. So this is like super high end specific campaign, and with very specific metrics. So we have paid somebody 8 million. Imagine having that much brand power. You post one time and you get paid $8 million. Okay. To be that influential, to be that influential, right? So usually mega influencers, this is like the the usual rate. It's usually about 10,000 to 100,000 per million followers. But remember, this is with an average engagement of 2%. So this is how much we will pay people or influencers with about a million or per million subscribers, but the engagement rate is 2%. BTS's engagement rate is 17%, as you can see, 17, 18%. And depending on the brand, they may say, like, I only want to see last your engagement rate in the last 28 days or last 3 months or something. So, okay, do you have questions about that? So if they actually start accepting paid posts, just paid campaign, just per post, just one post, not an entire contract, they will disturb the ecosystem. They're going to set a new precedent in this entire thing. And me, with 20 years of marketing experience, including the brand side that I did in the last 5 years, I would be lost as to what I'm going to be offering them. Do they take into account the quality of engagement? Yes. So there are several. Yes. So when we do compute the engagement, it's different types of engagement. It could be likes, follows, the how many followers you gained per post. You usually gain per post, and then comments. But and shares as well. But it does not take into consideration whether it's a negative comment or a positive comment. So any kind of comment is comment for us. So that goes into and comment. So the two highest quality of engagement is share and comments. So we don't care whether you're cursing the influencer, for as long as you're there and you're leaving a comment, that is comment. So all the negative posts, all the negative comments actually add to the brand power of the person. So they can live off the money they earn from posts, correct? But that is if they will. That's a question, are you going to do paid posts? Because there's a lot. The person that actually started all of these things is actually Kim Kardashian. So if you would remember, I think she was seen going into, was it Burger King? I want to say it's Burger King, either Burger King or McDonald's. That's paid post, and he was paid 150,000 for that. But the amount of engagement that she generated, she was actually, and she ended up being underpaid. But then it was in the early years of her, ano, sorry, her fame, in the early years of her fame. But she essentially invented that, the this kind of deal with brands, that she gets paid only per post. So when it is a part of a contract, how does that work? Paid upfront, mandatory number of posts. So the conditions as to when and how many times, the if it is a part of a bigger contract, right? Like, for example, let's just use BTS. um Te V has a deal with Celine. In his contract, it will already state the number of posts, either the number of posts that he needs to make or when he actually posts. The contract can say that whenever you attend this is one example, that whenever he attends a an event, then he needs to post about it 5 times, for example. Okay, so that could be a part of it. Or it could say, like, he's required to post about Celine at least once a month. Or he's required to post about Celine whenever there's a major event, like a release of a new line or change of leadership or something like that. So that will be included in the contract. It could be based on the total amount of it could be total amount of posts he need to make in the span of the contract, or when he will post. You have to be a company with significant marketing budget to afford someone with a high engagement rate, correct? Oh yeah, for sure. Um, but it also does not discount other like smaller brands from doing it, because if you're a smaller brand, one thing that you can do is go after micro influencers. Those with micro influencers are anybody with less than 100,000 subscribers. We consider those micro influencers. And then you have the mid, so 100,000, between 100,000 to 400,000. That's mid. Actually, to up to 1 million, it has already changed so much. But up to 1 million, that's mid. And then high engagement, that's like a million or up. This is so fascinating. So happy I took off work for this. Oh my god. I hope you're okay. So it is very fascinating, and just negotiating with the celebrities, it's fascinating. Usually, like for example, for BTS, you're not going to hear from them if I'm negotiating with them. I usually talk with them with their managers. It's usually not them. um, Now, I think I've mentioned to you before that Smart Communications, the telecommunications company that they endorsed in the Philippines, that's the brand that I handled for 15 for wait 9 years, for 9 years when I was in the Philippines. And so I got a little bit of an inside scoop in that one, because people that I work with are still there. Thank God I don't burn bridges. Not that I left in a bad condition. It was like all friendly and stuff. But um, so gins, tuna, and ramen contracts may include number of posts. It may include number of posts, but that's another thing. And I think that we need to consider. Luxury brands usually don't pay that much. The ones that really pay a lot are like brands like Jin Ramen or the tuna. However, because BTS is in another level, of course, you can't shortchange them anymore, because BTS does not need the brands, right? Um, so they get paid the normal rate. So they still get paid, just, but in general, if you're not as big as BTS, if you're not an A-lister, BTS, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, celebrities like that, and you get signed by a luxury brand, they usually shortchange you, because you will gain as much as they will, or you will gain more from the brand. So they kind of like, well, I'm going to pay you this much. Um, what's her name? Jenny is actually she was underpaid by Chanel, and even now she still is underpaid, but she's getting a lot from the brand, because it's still Chanel, and she's known as the Chanel girl in Asia, right? So, or at least in Korea. So she's getting a lot from it. So they're not really hiking up her price, because in their eyes, like, well, you're gaining from us. So J Hope's watch and RM's Bottega are good deals. Oh yeah. So of all, RM's is the one just watching us how much I can actually reveal of all those. And I've never seen just a disclaimer. I've never seen their actual contract. So these are just talks in the industry. So yes, they are good deals, but J Hope is actually paid the least with AP, because he didn't. So we also have to take into consideration what kind of endorsements or activities that they're going to be engaging in. So, for example, does it include a commercial, TV show, appearance, PR, print, billboard? So unless they include those things, he's not going to get paid that much. It really goes up when there is TV. That's when it actually like look goes way up. So with BTS, they have a base rate, and regardless of the brand, that will be. I realize that you're not seeing. Oh yeah, you are seeing me. So um, so for BTS, they have a base amount. So if you want to work with them, this is the minimum amount that they will take. It is seven figures dollars in US dollars. It's seven figures. That's the base. So um, for them, like even if you're just going to do one PR, this is our base. and then it just goes up and up and up, and depending on the number of activities that they want you to do. Okay, do influencers get bonuses if they go above expected target? And do influencers get paid more for certain countries if they get brand recognition of more? It has to be in the contract. So yes, it does. It is possible, but it has to be in the contract. Usually, it's either usually for the caliber of BTS, it's two things. It's one and the same. It's one or the other. They have a base rate, right? So that's a given. They have a base rate, and then depending on the activities that they are going to be doing, that adds up. So TV, then it goes up, and they say, for example, they say, okay, we want two TV ads. He needs to shoot two TV ads. Okay, it goes up. And then, okay, we are going to do 3 campaigns, print and posters, and OOH. OOH is out of home, so billboard posters. Said then it goes up. And if they say, okay, we want you to post 5 times on your account, okay, it goes up again. Okay, so that's the base rate. And then they usually have an attachment to that, another layer of compensation. So it's either equity, which is stocks, not necessarily the ownership of the company, but stocks. So they will either go for equity or for bonuses. In some instances, it could be both, but very rare. It's usually one or the other. So, for example, if they say, especially if they are the lone big endorser, and they say, okay, if the sales go up this much, then we get a certain bonus, or it could be shares. Now, the other one, which is a different deal altogether, would be similar to what Michael Jordan had with Nike, but it has to be like a long-term deal where he actually gets a percentage of his of the sales of the shoes of the Jordans per sale. So it's, I think, 1%. You were going to make a comment about RM. Oh yeah. So RM's deal is very different, and his is a longer term. This is just inside information. So his is a longer term with Bottega, because Bottega does not do advertising. So they had to restructure when they were negotiating with RM. It had to be restructured differently because in the foreseeable future, from the time that he was signed as an endorser, they didn't see themselves doing regular marketing. So they didn't see themselves doing TV. They don't actually had at that time an IG account, no YouTube or whatever. So basically they were going to rely heavily on RM to do their Asia promotion. Um, because there's if you're not doing TV, you're not doing print. What it is are you going to do? So they have to structure it different. And so that's why RM, that's heavy. Like he wears Bottega a lot because it's included in the contract. It's the same. It's almost the same as um, Jennifer Aniston's endorsement for Smart Water in the beginning. When she first introduced Smart Water in the market, they didn't have any other kind of endorsement happening, any no other marketing happening. It was just her. So they were kind of like, that's the expectation for RM. Is there a reason why certain brands of the members wanted IG in the contract versus others not wanting it? It's always there. So when even if for a marketing comp, for example, for if I am DTB, if the brand says I don't really care about IG, we will still put it there. Like as an agency, we will always put it there. Whatever platform, in fact, it's going to be encompassing, meaning if they open other platforms, we will have to put it there as well, because we want to play it safe. It's better, it's always better, and this is our job as an agency, is to remind the brands, you can think short term. So even if you're not going to use it, it's better to need it. It's better to not need it and have it than need it and not have it. Is TikTok being used for ads too? Yes, but there, TikTok is not very good for. TikTok is primarily there for engagement, so just for awareness. But you don't really expect those things to have any kind of stickiness, because that's just the nature of the platform. So when you do any kind of campaign in TikTok, it's just for awareness. It's just like people realizing, oh, this kind of brand exists. But if you're looking for um, real engagement, you either go to IG or YouTube, but not TikTok. What about new platforms? Yes, so that we include that in all the contract. So we usually say if for example, if J-Hope opens a TikTok account, then the posts need to be this many and stuff. Because as I've said, it's our job to make sure that we're anticipating the need of our clients. I thought you had only Te and Jin had it in their contracts. It's um Te is very generous with brands. I heard. So he's the one that's most open in making posts or whatever. Other members are very controlled. They're much more conscious of what they put in their contract in terms of IG engagement. The strictest, the strictest is Jungkook and Jimin. They are very like, no, we'll only make this type of posts. um, and Jungkook, as you know, didn't even accept a lot of endorsement. Well, just one endorsement. That's the only one that he accepted because he's very conscious about his brand. JK folding underwear had to be a boom for CK. Yeah, that one wasn't included in the contract, but CK must have. I mean, if I were the the account manager of CK, I'd be jumping for joy. And I would be expecting my bonus at the end of the year. Okay. So let's start. Okay, so other accounts of other you're going to be surprised with this actually. So for example, for I also generated the engagement rate lifetime, all time engagement rate of other K-pop celebrities. So for example, this is Gio, leader of Twice, as you know, my favorite girl group, and also she's my bias. Her engagement rate is 11.2% all time, and she has 11 million followers. She's not following anybody, but 11.2 is pretty impressive. So try to remember this because this is going to surprise you. So 11.2% for Gio, and this is Nayeon, um, often hailed as the most popular member, but her engagement rate is 9.11. She has more followers though, 12.4 million. Okay. And then Sana, which is now my fourth favorite member. My third is Jonghyun. Her engagement rate is 7.62. In um, Twice, she has the most brand deals. Sana is the most brand deal because she's just so pretty. Okay. I'm not angry about that. And then you have Jenny with 87.9 million followers, but her engagement rate is 4.02. Imagine the difference between her and these three girls: 11.2, 9.11, 7.62, and hers is 4.02. Right, so it's such a huge difference. um but she's not following anybody and she has 87.9 million followers. However, 4.02% is still good. That's still very good. It's not excellent, but it's still, oh, actually it can be considered excellent already. With the amount of followers that she has, it's very rare for you to get this much engagement rate. So 4.02% is still very impressive. Lisa falls into the good but not excellent, 2.89%, and she has 106 million subscribers. If engagement rate falls for anyone, is there penalties? No. It's just that if you are an endorser, for example, the one thing that you need to consider if you don't keep up your engagement rate or if you don't keep on growing is that they're not going to renew you, right? So it is in your best interest to make sure that your subscribers stay engaged because you want to get renewed. And then you're going to spoil your chances of other brands engaging with you if you don't keep your engagement rate up, if you don't keep on growing. So there's no penalty if your engagement rate goes down. It's just that, is that what you want? So you want to keep it up. Rose has 84.4 million subscribers, but she has an engagement rate of 2.24. Still falls in the good category. Not excellent, but good. 1% to 3% is good. Anything above that is excellent. But as I've said, anybody who goes double digits with that many subscribers, with the amount of subscribers that BTS has, that's just off the charts. Literally, like, you- I kid you not. If DDB actually comes to me right now and says, "Okay, BTS is willing to sign up. Can you compute how much we're going to pay them?" I will not be able to do it. Like, I'll probably start crying, and keep on crying for a week, and not know what to do because it's just unprecedented. Jisoo is 3.92%, so that's still good. It's excellent, actually. And she has 79.9 million subscribers, or 79.8 million subscribers. She's the one with the least amount of subscribers among the girls. Okay. And the one that has the most would be Lisa. Next is Jenny, and then Rosie. Rosie actually got a boost after Apathy. She used to have the least, but she got a boost after Apathy. Okay, and this is Les Seraphim, and this is Sakura, 11.26% all time engagement rate on IG. She's pretty new on IG. She has 10.7 million subscribers, and then Unche is 9.74, although she has the least amount of subscribers among the girls. So look at that. Sakura has 10.7 million and she has 5.9. Sakura's popularity is just off the charts, but she's got a good engagement rate. Okay. This is Yoonjin, and she has 9.6 million subscribers, 8.84% engagement rate. Okay. And then this is Chewon, 7.67% engagement rate, and she has 9.1 million subscribers. And Kazuha has 7 million subscribers, 5.93%. This, when I generated this, I was kind of surprised because there's this narrative that Kazuha is now the most popular member, that she has actually already surpassed um, Sakura. Could be the case, but if you look at IG, obviously not. So the BP girls are not up there with the other girls. That surprises me. Correct. So that's the one thing that was like lingering in my mind when I generated this numbers, because I was like, the other girls, if I am the brand, I would approach these girls more, like Twice and Les Seraphim, because they are going to generate actual meaningful engagement. And if at the end of the day your goal is sales, then they will sell more than the girls. So the question is, why are they getting more deals, right? um, Considering influence, what carries more weight, number of followers or engagement rate? Oh, for sure, engagement rate. We don't care about engagement rate. Now, now if it is a luxury brand, engagement rate is the most important. If it is like a brand like Jin Ramen, sales would be the best, the best, the best parameter for us of success, the best measure of success. Because for a brand like Jin Ramen, then you want sales. That's the end goal of it. So at the end of the day, okay, great, you've got engagement rate, but we need to know how that translated into sales. And that's a tricky thing, and that's an entirely different conversation, measuring the attributing the influencer or the endorser or the brand ambassador to the sales. It's an entirely different game. It's very complicated. I can talk about it, but not here, because I need to prepare more and show you way more for you to understand that. Okay, now I'm not done actually. So I also did Stray Kids. And you're going to be surprised. You're going to be very, very surprised. Just remember that no one is in the level of BTS in terms of followers to engagement. No one. Maybe Ronaldo. Not even. So no one. Okay. So remember that many of these influencers, sorry, many of these K-pop artists, they are, except for the BP girls, the others actually are less than 20 million subscribers. Okay. So let's go to Stray Kids. This is Bangchan, the leader of Stray Kids, and I'm all for Fearless Business School. So for Banchan, it's 10.8 million subscribers. Imagine that, and he has 16.83% engagement rate. The boys got some engaged subscribers. The stays are engaged. I don't know. JYP is doing something wrong, because if you're pulling this number, if you're clocking this number, come on, JYP. And look at that. This is Han. So the leader is Bang Chan. I don't know if you know, if you are aware of the history of Stray Kids, but Bang Chan was actually the member, and so the entire group was actually built around him, and he was the one who chose the members. He was the one who went out there and checked the. So he was the one that chose the members, and his eldest is Han. This guy, he only has 7.2 million subscribers, but he's got 25.55% engagement rate. I'm like, what? Oh my god. Okay. If I am still in the agency, this is jackpot. What the hell are you doing? I don't know what this brand people are doing, but that's jackpot. Because he's not his number of followers isn't as big as BTS, but the people are engaged. My God. This is he is the lead dancer of the group. Sorry, the main dancer. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the main dancer. And he used to be the backup dancer for BTS. So if you would remember that time when BTS was like, "Oh, that's him," in the crowd, and they were watching Stray Kids perform, they were talking about Lino because he used to dance for BTS. He was a backup dancer, and his engagement rate is 26.27%. I'd be curious about 17 and what happens to engagement when they have to do military. I didn't do 17. I can do it for the next live. Why don't you submit to me who else you want to know the engagement rate for? And I can also do YouTube. The reason I didn't do YouTube is primarily because BTS don't have their individual YouTube channels. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna waste my time. BTS didn't have any. But I can do YouTube if you want. Okay, this is Felix, and it is 11.82% for him. He's got 26.8 million subscribers. He has a lot of subscribers, as you can see. Felix is 26.8. Yino is 7.2. Bahan is also 7.2. Bangchan is 10.8. But he has less engagement rate. And then 25 million for Yoonjin, and his engagement rate is 13.48%. Okay. So this guy's super talented in Stray Kids. He paints, he draws, he raps, he writes his songs, and he's a really good dancer. Just like just overall. Okay. Um Felix is everything. Felix is everything. Yeah, I love Felix's voice. And then this is Ian. I think he is the youngest. 15.04% engagement rate, and he has 10 million subscribers. There's a pattern. The larger the base followers, the lower the engagement rate. Not for Jungkook. Not for Jungkook. Yeah. Not for Jungkook. Not for Jimin. Not for it. That doesn't apply to BTS. But you mean for the first Stray Kids, yeah. So Ian, I think, is the youngest, and it's 15.04%. And then this is Changbin, the other rapper, and he is the other producer. So Stray Kids has three main producers: Bangchan, the leader; Han, who's the eldest of Bangchan; and then this one, Changbin, and he has 15.81% engagement rate. So why is BP? That's the mirror question, right? Like, of all these celebrities, all these K-pop artists, BP is getting more brand deals than those with higher engagement, and it all boils down to PR. It really is. It boils down to PR. And just, I kid you not, the way YG solidified the branding of BP was just perfect. It is so perfect that no matter You know how Jenny constantly gets criticized for being lazy on stage, for not dancing, for not singing, or whatever. It does not matter. It will not affect her brand, because that's how much he solidified the brand. So they owe a lot to that guy. The girls owe a lot to YG. They will forever be they should forever be grateful to him because of the way that he solidified their brands. Primarily because you have to, the girls. I'm just going to be blunt about it. They're not great artists. They're not even average. Probably Rose as an artist is average, but they're not great. I've been to two of their concerts and it's just horrendous to watch them on stage. I'm like, can you move? That was my can you stop standing there and do something? And even when they are moving and they're doing their best, it's just it doesn't look good. But the brand is so solid that no matter what they do on stage, it does not matter. So all these people trying to destroy them online, saying this and that, it does not matter. Their brand will not get affected. And of the four, Jenny has the strongest brand. That's how she's getting all of these brand deals, because at the end of the day, people are still going to go and admire her, and they will engage with her posts, and they will watch her commercials. And if I'm a brand and my concern is to sell the product, then I wouldn't care, because that's at the end of the day, I'm not after the art. I'm after engagement. I'm after people looking at my brand, knowing my brand, and buying my products. And so it all boils down to that: a solid brand, and a great PR plan. So name recognition does matter. Oh yeah. I mean, if I'm a business, that's all I'm concerned about. For as long as you can push my brand, I'm going to be paying you millions and millions of dollars. And then of course the next is that they've got a great PR game. So if you would notice, the first thing that YG did was seek luxury brands for the girls, for the four girls. They got signed almost right away: Chanel, YSL, Celine at that time, and then Dior. And from there he built the other endorsements. And that's a great strategy. And so that was actually the kind of strategy that Min Hee Jin was going after for New Jeans. So when they got invited to Chanel before their formal debut, was there before debut, I think, or after debut. Yeah, it was just right after debut. They got invited to Chanel, to a Chanel event. That was jackpot for her, because in everyone's mind, that's it. You got it. You were able to. She was able to duplicate what YG did, to right away be attached to a luxury brand after debut. And to be honest about it, I think that's why Bang Shi-yuk was willing to give her everything that he was asking for, because in his head, we found we found the girl group that will surpass Blackpink. So I told you I'm going to be unhinged in this. So um so yeah, so that's the strategy of YG. He he it's all about solidifying the branding, so that no matter what they do, people are going to latch onto it. And yes, the exclusivity is all part of it. That's why he doesn't release a lot of songs, because that's the kind of branding that he wants. He doesn't want them overexposed. All other groups in K-pop, they would release a song one after the other. And he was like, nope, I'm going to wait 1 year before you release the next song. And you're just going to be seen in different brand events. Every now and then you're going to post or whatever. Everything is calculated. And then he supplemented that with a great PR plan. And so PR plan would be, essentially you're going to try and have different publications, different influencers, different people in the industry talking about you. That's what they did, what she did for the girls. And so he didn't pull back in paying journalists, media personalities, experts, Vogue, Harper Magazine, W Magazine, to get the girls on there, because he knows that it's going to pay off. If you're racking up all of this, magazine covers, all of these posts, people mentioning you, people are going to perceive, other brands are going to perceive that, yeah, you've got a great brand recognition. And also because at the end of the day, people are just going to listen to you, right? Because it's like, oh, she's a model of Chanel, so people are most likely going to look at what you are doing. And again, it doesn't matter whether it is bad press, for as long as it is press, it is brand power. I think the fact that they release the same song over and over influenced that. Don't want to bore the fans now. Like the brands that change the name of all related products, household name, IEs. So K-pop will always be known as BTS is the first thing that comes to mind when people mention K-pop as a whole. 100% BTS. BTS is an outlier. If you take them out of the equation, who would be the next highest ranking? In terms of what? Are we talking about brand recognition? Like for the question, your Cindy, your question, BTS is an outlier. If you take them out of the equation, who would be the next highest ranking? Are you talking about brand power or just sales? What are you talking about? Mm, brand recognition is Blackpink. They've got black. The only thing Blackpink has is brand recognition. They don't have great music. Yeah. I'm just being blunt, okay? Because I told you I'm going to be unhinged in this. So they that's all they have actually. That's essentially what they have. It's brand recognition. Um, this is not a diss. I'm actually, as a marketer, if had I had the same kind of marketing skill as YG, as Yang Yun Suk, then I'd be a millionaire. Right? But I don't have that same level of skill in terms of marketing. And the good thing is that the girls actually cooperated with him. And so look at them now, right? Member for 1 month. Oh, congratulations. So you've witnessed all of my rants in the beginning of this. Okay, so it boils down to it boils down to brand, and they cooperated is what I was what I was saying, that they cooperated with him in building that brand, and look at what they are generating because of it right now. They still are getting a lot of brand deals even though they're not doing anything, right? So BP after BTS in terms of brand recognition. Okay, let's see. BTS is top countries. Um, wait a minute. Okay, so BTS is top countries. So this I took into I pulled the different numbers for BTS, and so this does not only include Spotify streams, but also their ranking on Apple Music in different countries, and Deezer, I think, and different platforms, and also sales. So also sales. I will organize the computation and show it to you in the next live stream. But this is how, like, these are the countries where the members are the most popular. Okay. So for Jungkook, he is big. He's really, really big on Asia. I don't think anyone has that same pull as Jungkook. No other artist has the same pull in Asia as Jungkook. I mean, if you take into consideration the entirety of Asia, it's just on a different level in Asia. Thailand, though, is where he is strongest, oddly enough. Vietnam, Cambodia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Japan, and Israel. But is almost the entirety of Asia. He's just so strong in Asia, and that goes for streams and sales. For Jimin, US, South Korea, parts of Europe, which actually surprised me. Germany actually made it into the list, and then Japan. So for Europe, he was big on he's big on Germany. Is actually big on UK. Yeah. So but of all the members, he's just on a different level in the US. I don't know why, but it's just on a different level. Stream sales, oh my god. It's like, and he barely promoted. I don't know what he, and then surprisingly enough for Te, I was expecting he was going to be biggest in Japan. No, he's biggest in Russia. And it's well distributed across the country. It's not just one area of Russia. He's big in Russia, and then Taiwan and Belarus, and then he's actually also big in Japan, but not as big as Jungkook. Meant to donate but saw the happy 1 month post law. Thank you for doing members only. Sorry for interrupting again. No, Fadra. It's just that here I can't like it. Okay. It's just that here, unlike the when I'm using the platform that I use usually during my regular live stream, I can highlight a comment here. I can't because I'm using directly the YouTube link. Okay, so that's for 10. I was surprised with Russia really about him. And then this also surprised me. Suga is big in South America. So you should do a stadium tour in South America, also in the Philippines. Nobody comes close to Suga in South America, not even Jungkook. So he's big there. And then for Jin, Honduras, Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan, South Korea. Okay. And then J Hope has Latin. I mean, that's not surprising because we saw the response that he got when he did a show there in South America, in Latin America. So he's big there. You should do a stadium tour in Latin America. And then for RM Nepal and Madagascar, I am not going to lie to you. I did promise to you that I'm going to be more unhinged and just not filter what I'm going to say. I feel like we can push RM a little bit more because like Nepal and Madagascar are just very small as a market, as a music market. So there's a way that we can push him more. I'm surprised. I thought Huberto was the biggest inland. Huberto? Who's Huberto? Is he a singer? Is he a singer? One way that you can actually oh, J Hope. uh he's big in Latin America. South America is it's Sugar. Okay. And then one way that you can actually do this, just to give you like a broad idea, is Gorb. RM is big here in the UK, so that surprises me. Yeah, it's kind of that's why it's always important for you because usually we have a bubble, right? We have like our own environment, and that's where we usually get the information. So for us marketers, our job is to actually jump out of that bubble and make sure that we get like a more general, a more comprehensive, not general, but a more comprehensive idea on the popularity of people. um I don't know, like just RM, just in terms of artistry, I can't say enough about RM. I mean, we all can't say enough about his artistry. So I feel like there's a lot of room for him. So I don't know. I think it's just because I can't deny. So before I go there, so one way for you to just get a general idea will be to go to KWorb. So search for the name of this artist that you want. Go to KWorb, and it's going to give you an like the statistics on different platforms like iTunes, Spotify, radio, YouTube, different charts. So if you go to Spotify, for example, and you go to the countries, you're going to see where they are actually leading. Now, the problem is that, so that, and that's going to cover like not just Spotify, but also Apple Music, Deezer. But the problem is that this is only 24 hours. So if you go to this, you have to be conscious that this is only in the past 24 hours. So in the past 24 hours, Jungkook is has been ranking, he's been trending or charting. Sorry, he's been charting on Vietnam in Spotify, Latvia, South Korea, Thailand, Singapore, Belarus, and all of those stuff. So if you go down, you'll see more. That's iTunes, YouTube, Shazam. These are okay, and then they group it by album, so you can get like a better idea. And yes, it does change. It does change over time, but you can kind of get again. This is just an idea. Like you'll be able to get like see where they are actually ranking and where they are actually popular. So, for example, he is number 73 worldwide, and this is general. Consider everybody that's on Spotify. He's 73rd worldwide right now in the last 24 hours. Number 57 in UAE, but he's number one in Vietnam for seven. And then you go 3D, it's Thailand, standing next to you, Vietnam. And then Golden is number one in Thailand. And then you can just go down and see all the other ones. So we'll never get a complete picture. Yeah. That's why many advertising agencies and marketing agencies, that's why we develop, not we. I still keep on saying we whenever I talk about DDB. That's why we develop our own platforms. Because the trick with all of this platform is for you to subscribe to them so that you can get some at least a part of what you're trying to get. But the problem is that if that is what you do, for example, I can use one platform to measure the engagement, and then one another platform to measure the streaming, for example. But those are two different companies with two different types of computation for two different types of needs. So if I want something solid, more consistent, because if you are generating numbers, it is always better if you are consistent with the way that you're computing it. Then um, then it's better if you create your own platform that will pull the numbers from the sources that you think are most compatible with the way that you're computing things, and then you compute those things. Then you compute whatever it is that you want to compute using your own platform. Then you know that your data is consistent and the way that you're computing things are the most consistent. So will you have this up later? Yes, I'll have this up later. Bangluna, bye. Okay, so I was expecting SK will show up for each one of them. Yeah. But this is just because you're looking at like 7 3D standing next to you in Golden, because those are the ones that are ranking. So it shows up for some. We can look at, let's try and look at V. So for V, he's number 14. For Winter Ahead, he's number 14 in South Korea, right? So it did show up. But then he has Winter Ahead, Slow Dancing, Love Me Again, and then Layover album, the EP. So he's big in Myanmar for the album in general, but then Love Me Again, number 33 in Taiwan for Spotify. So that you'll be able to measure all of that. Let's go to August D. The problem with August D is that he has two profiles, Suga and August D. So this is for Hegum, D-Day, What Do You Think? And then album. Okay. And then RM, you've got Stop the Rain, Come Back to Me, Lost, and the album itself. So these three are the three best performing songs so far. What website is this, please? Here. Why are some countries graded out? Because there's an error. So here. So for example, for Apple Music, you can see Myanmar is actually showing up twice. So there's an error and they're fixing it, usually because of the versions. Sometimes it gets tracked separately. So they resolve that eventually, but that is the reason it is graded out. Okay. What else do I have? Oh, Jimin. Let's look at Jimin. So for Jimin, it's Who, Be Mine, and Like Crazy. That's actually ranking and charting, sorry. And then Muse is also charting. So yeah, if you put anyway, but yes, so he's there you go. US is actually here. So he's the only member right now that's charting in the US. So I told he's just on another level in the US. Saudi Arabia, he's also the only one that appeared in Saudi Arabia. So if you look at that, this is Jungkook. Golden, just to for you to like be more observant. Look at how Golden in general is actually ranking in more countries as an album, right? If you go down, it's ranking in more countries. But who is ranking as a single in more countries? So you kind of like, if you're a marketer, those are the things that you kind of need to observe. Um, yeah. So that's keyword. Usually the best way to do that is for you to type the name on Google, type the name of the artist and then do keyword and put keyword. So for example, it's just an example. Taylor Swift keyword, it's gonna go directly to the profile of Taylor Swift. So yeah, you're correct in saying that it's kind of impossible to get an accurate 100% view of like the brand power of the boys or anybody for that matter, but you can get pretty close to a level that it is acceptable. And in the same thing, the streaming and the sales, that is taken into consideration when someone is doing a tour. So that's why I've mentioned to you before. When did I mention? Oh, I think in the when we were in New York, the members that were there, the members of our community that were there, we were talking about a tour, possible tour for Jungkook, and I said, if he does a tour, he should do a stadium tour. If they don't do a stadium tour, someone's making the wrong decision because he should do a stadium tour. That's for sure. Um, because in general, if you take just everything into consideration, he can pull it off. Him and Jimin, possibly Te. The problem with Te has a very active community, fan base. They're very active. Like they're the loudest, louder, louder than Jungkook's. They're really loud, and that's a good thing. That not again, I'm not dissing them. That's a good thing. If you're a celebrity, if you're a brand, you do want a very loud. Um, you want a very loud bass. Okay. Do you have any questions about that? Okay. I told you I'm going to not hold back when I'm doing this because this is what you guys pay for. So I'm just going to say whatever it is. I'm not going to hold back. Do know that I love all the boys, of course. And it's just, I think there are certain things that I avoid mentioning during the general live stream because it's going to agitate a lot of people. So usually I avoid mentioning Jungkook's the most popular, although generally he is, So things like that. RM is my bias. I listen to him every day and I buy lots of merch too. Yeah, I don't know. Like it would be interesting. There has to be a separate brand marketing for each member of BTS. But I think RM will require something special. He's just way too smart. He's very, very smart. And that's not something that people resonate with. Right? Because like if you observe the live streams of the boys, all of them are very, very smart and all of them talk substance. But the other boys have the ability to go on a live stream and just chill. They'll just chill. Right? Like you don't they have a live stream where you just sit back, let's just hang out. Let's just talk about whatever. Let's eat. Let's cook. Something like that. Um, but every live stream of RM, it's like reading a book. I think he is incapable of saying something that's juvenile, that's superficial. I think it's not in his DNA. I I think that's why he got frustrated that one time when he said, oh, he was reading the comments and he said something like, oh, army has changed. I army has changed. So so it's because that's his nature. And as I've said, that's not always something that would resonate with a lot of people. I can see RM becoming unhinged like the others. Correct. That's why I think he needs a special branding plan, a brand and marketing plan, because it's just, I mean, how many would you expect RM to sleep in front of a live stream? You know, like what Jungkook did, right? But then there are like when, I don't know if you religiously watch Jungkook's live stream. There he talks substance. It's just that at times he's like, I just want to goof around. Let's just watch. Let's just sing. Let's just watch some TV shows or whatever. And that's refreshing. That resonates with a lot more people. The RM, no, he's gonna come. If he's gonna go live stream and he's gonna talk about the album, the process of making it, the meaning of the songs. So it's like, oh my god, you're smart. You're so smart. It makes me angry. He did a house tour too, but that's part of a show. Right? So that's what I'm talking about. Like it's not necessarily because he does not appeal to, it's just that because it's just so freaking smart. you have to, you have to, yeah, you get what I mean. A lot of people in Patreon had voiced their annoyance over inappropriate comments. Yeah, I well, that for sure, I that's not something that I like. If I always say, like, if you have nothing to say, why don't you just give them hearts, or say like, hey, good luck, you're doing well, I like your song. So it's just a million things you can say that's positive, instead of like saying mean things, but or like disgusting things. I don't know if you've ever been to a Jungkook live stream or to a V live stream, but they get flooded with the tech cult is heavy. They go hard. You see a lot of, oh please, like, where's, if it is V, it's like, where's Jungkook? Did you go on a date with Jungkook? Can you show us a picture? Like, the guy is doing a live stream. He's going on quite often now. I'm talking about V, and he's going on longer. He usually crosses the 10-minute mark, which we know he didn't usually do in the past. And now he's making an effort to cross the 10-minute mark. And here we are talking about Jungkook. Why can't we just talk about V? He's the one that's on there, right? Something like that. So it's like, can you give V a break? And even like, I know in the last live stream, V already expressed how pissed he is with people asking him, because he was doing a voice live stream and people kept on asking him to turn on the camera, and it was like, this is what I want to do. If you ask me one more time, I'm not going to go on until after 100 days. So can we just respect the guy's boundary? Like, he's making an effort to communicate with armies and we can't be supportive. It's like, it's irritating. So I hope, like, why can't we just tell V how great he is, how much we miss him, how much we enjoy his music, how his music is actually changing our lives? There's a lot of things that we can tell V. Why force him to turn on the mic? Why look for Jungkook? It's like, come on. Anyway, okay. I went on a rant. Did you get a bug from the concert? No, I did not. Yes, that shipper group seems to only care about the ship and not about the art. It's frustrating. Yeah. Well, that goes for every shipper. Okay. That goes for every couple that they are shipping, not just, that's not exclusive to Teco. It's just that we talked about V, and usually they ship, the most popular ship for V is Jungkook. So I saw an IG referring to RM as a walking TED. Yes. he's a walking he's a walking wisdom of life. That's why he needs a special branding. And I honestly think, this is in all honesty, I honestly think that's why he's the one that's pulling in the least amount of numbers, because at times people just want to have fun, right? So, okay, before, I want to share just very, very quickly with you. I did mention to you that, so I will make a separate video explaining what you will be expecting from YouTube membership, from Patreon membership and stuff. Now, if you are a Patreon legacy member, just that legacy group, for as long as you stay subscribed, you will get access to everything. Okay, for the legacy members. Now, if you unsubscribe, then you won't be able to come back because I'm not going to add more people in the legacy group. Okay, so I'll create. So that's for legacy. We'll get access to everything. I think there's like 180 members there or something like that. Now for so I'll create a separate video what you will be expecting per tier and what you'll be expecting from YouTube membership, from Patreon and stuff. Okay, and then I did mention that one of the things that I will be sharing with you would be the journey of the things that I am doing, like the goals, the different goals that I have set for myself. So I actually started pencil pushing last night. I'm just gonna show you my process. I'm still in the process of creating it. So, but at least you'll get an idea of it for me. So usually I start the way I would start a brand plan with a VMO, the vision, mission, objective, pillars. And then from there, I flesh down the different steps that I'm going to create, right? Okay. So I started doing AEC. So in the last several days, actually after the concert of Jin, I that's when I started because in the during the concert of Jin, leading up to the concert of Jin, I just wanted to chill and not think about anything else. Because I was like, I just coming off from I've been working since I was 14, so I was like, I just want to chill. I just for this week up until the concert of Jin, I don't want to think about it. So I started thinking about it after the concert of Jin. So like, where do I really want to take the channel? Where do I really want to take the brand and stuff like that? What do I really want to do? And one of the things that I've mentioned to you guys before, oh, the personal writing is wrong spelling. One of the things that I shared with you before is that if you're actually building a brand and if you want it to be like a long term kind of thing, a legacy that will go beyond you, basically, it's it's uh it's more it'll take you more than a decade to get it close to where you were, and most likely 2 decades for you to actually enjoy the fruits of what you're building. That's really how long it takes. Now there are exceptions, of course. Yes, there are exceptions, and it has happened before, but usually that's the general rule. Can I be the exception? I hope so, but I'm not counting on that. You can't plan to be the exception. Right? So like for example, for Google, it's only now when they're enjoying the benefit of what they have created. In the last 5 years was the only time when the two founders actually managed to step back a little and allow the company to run itself, quote unquote. So that's how long it takes. So I'm not getting any younger, so I'm thinking like, okay, in the next what 10-15 years, what it is that I want to spend my time on. And it's really this, it's this platform, it's this channel, and it is this brand. So I started thinking about that, like that. And then of course there's my personal thing, like I'm a writer at heart, that still is my passion. So like, what do I want to create in the last, you know in the next 20 years, basically. So okay, so now, so is it best to have membership both here and Patreon? I wasn't here for the legacy tier. um well, yes, of course it's best to have both. uh Patreon was really created for the community. So a lot of the content that I will be, yeah, so it's really created for the community. So yes. But yeah, it is best to, of course it's best to have both here and Patreon. um what I am trying to do with Asian entertainment and culture is sort of consolidate, because right now, like for example, for legacy, I want them to have access to just everything that I do. But then I'm always hitting a roadblock because, for example, for YouTube, I can't manually enter their email addresses to allow them to access this this live stream, for example. um, so things like that. So I'm trying to consolidate. Is one of the things that I'm trying to do with Asian entertainment and culture, so that I can do one live stream and it will be accessed by exactly the people that I want to access that. Does that make sense? Okay. I love how smart he is and awkward. RM, yeah. Okay, so just I will share this with you. This is I'm starting it, and then as I go on with it, I'll probably as I okay as what the hell is happening? Okay, there you go. So as I fill this up, I'm going to record it so that you become a part of it. But this is the process on how I'm actually doing it. As again, I just started, so I haven't really filled up a lot. But so this is one example of it. Um, VMO, vision, mission, objective, and pillars. And I'm sure that a lot of you are already aware of what this is. But just briefly, vision is the end product, like the destination, what it is at the end of your journey, what it is that you want concretely to happen. Mission is how you get there. So vision is the destination, mission is how you get there. How do you get to your destination? And then the objective would be the different components of that journey. What are the things that you need to accomplish? If we are going to continue using the metaphor, the travel, what are the things that you need to bring and accomplish along the way in order to get to your destination successfully? And then the pillars would be the principles. So for example, like my vision for AEC as a platform is really to have AEC at in everyone's fingertips, because I want it to be on everyone's phones, TV, whatever, or in the future, VR, whatever, all of those things. Um, but I want it to be in everyone's fingertips. That's what I mean. So um, that's essentially the guiding principle. Like, I will not stop until I know it's in everyone's fingertips. Like it's in everyone's phone, everyone's laptop, everyone's TV, everyone. Like we are always one click away from everyone else. So that's the vision. That's my destination. And so how do I get there? My guide, the reason I created AEC is really to promote the awareness and appreciation of Asian art and Asian culture and Asian artists. So essentially, if I want AEC, the platform, to be in everyone's fingertips, what I'm saying is that I should be able to help Asian artists and Asian art. So how I get there is by creating the best art at a profit if we can, at a loss if we must, but always the best type of art. That's what I want to create. So from YouTube videos to articles to whatever, it always has to be the best. And we will do that. We will earn from it if we can. We will lose money if we must, but it always has to be the best. So when you are right, if you're elevating your quality to that, then you the ideal outcome is that you will be in everyone's consciousness, right? That everyone would want to follow you. And then from there, I'm creating the objective. Like, okay, so if I want to create the best content all the time and help artists create their best art all the time, what is it that I need to do? So I need to create a publication, I need to create an active community, and then I'm going to flesh it out more. But that's the process. And then from the this general objectives, I will create the detailed steps on what do I need to do. So if I want to create the best publications that raises awareness and understanding and appreciation for Asian artists, what do I need to do, right? So okay, so we have a website, and then what's next? We need to employ the best artists, the best writers, cover the best events, stuff like that. So those are the steps that I'm actually creating. So now that we've spoken about it, So I'll continue creating that, and I'll probably like document it. And in the next live stream, I'm going to give you a more detailed look at how I plan it. So here, this is just like the one sheet, like an overview of what I'm trying to do. But there is a separate document where I actually plan out everything. Okay, so I'll share this. There, I've already soft launched the website, so I'm QAing it. So the website is Asian Entertainment and Culture.com. So if you can go there, here, I'll paste it. So if you go to that website, it should land you here, which is the publication itself. So I'm still QAing it and also uploading articles. I'm creating a blog version and enhanced version of the YouTube videos that I've created. I've created a lot already, so we should have many. We should have no problem populating the website. So so yeah, so I'm clicking on, if you can as well, if you have any comments, any inputs, let me know. But basically I'm clicking on everything, just looking for errors. I'm QAing, making sure that every button works, that the formatting is great. Like for example, I don't like how this is formatted. I want this to be even. Are you seeing my pointer? So but like the view all is not even, it has to be aligned. And then I'm clicking on everything, just making sure everything is working. Like the about us, become a guest. I fill up the newsletter, just and then check the spelling and stuff like that. So I last night I actually published this morning. I published this article about Bang Shiuk getting caught in the toxic theater of power in South Korea. And then yeah, just checking the format. Let me know if that works. This is the CEO of B Lift Lab. I don't know if you watched the video already, but one of the points that I made is that this thing, them wanting Bang Shiuk to return to South Korea, is the goal. It's not really because they want the truth, because they already have the truth. They have the truth already about this, on this entire stock manipulation thing. They already have the truth. They aren't stopping because the truth is not what they want. What they want is Bang Shiyuk and BTS. They will have BTS if they have their way. They want BTS to go there, kneel in front of them, and exercise their superiority over them. That's just their nature. So I think Bang Shiyuk going there is his effort to try and make sure that um, that it stops. Like, okay, if it requires me going there and kneeling, quote unquote, in front of them, then okay, I'll do it. Yup, gave my 2 cents in Patreon Magpie. Yes, thank you. But if you have any more inputs, just let me know. So if you can click, try and subscribe, see how that's gonna look like. I haven't tried subscribing, but that's the goal. And then after this, I just want to build, like, I want to build up. Oh, see, that's not working. This is the link to the video. Okay. All right. So like the goal is to, let's see, I will stop sharing. Okay. So um after this, I need to populate it, make sure that we have a lot of articles in there so people, when they can spend hours and hours there and not have enough, and always have something to read. So, and then after that, I want to then I need to work on the press credentials, and then get into more events and write start writing more about other artists. Okay. So working more about, excuse me, sorry. Start writing about other artists as well, and start securing more interviews with different artists. So, but again, it goes back into the plan that I was writing. If you're thinking about something big and you don't break it down into smaller chunks, smaller milestones, the tendency, or at least for me and for many others actually, the tendency is to um, you just get bogged down. You just get overwhelmed, right? That's why it's very important to actually break down your goals into us to smaller pieces, to smaller milestones. Because if you're thinking about the end goal, which is really big, it's going to overwhelm you. But if you have like as if you distill it into smaller forms, it becomes a bit more palatable because now you're just looking at the next goal, right? Okay, I need to get my press credentials. That's that's like, oh, okay, that's achievable because you know exactly how to do that and where to get the press credentials and stuff. So that's why it's important to always, if you're setting up a big goal, make sure that you distill it into smaller ones so that it is palatable. um so yeah, that is one. And then after that, I will get into the novels. So for example, even for the novels and for the graphic novel, it's overwhelming to think about publishing a book. But if you're thinking about, okay, these are the chapters, like for this day I just want to write like what the chapters are going to look like, and that's probably going to change, and that's okay. um so yeah, so that's like, okay, for today I just want to think about like the general outline, and then next day I'm going to think about like a more detailed scene by scene treatment, scene by scene treatment is what we call it. And then after that we do like, okay, for today I'm just going to write 5 pages, or for today I'm just going to write that critical scene. I'm not going to achieve anything else, just that critical scene. So it's really better to break it down into smaller pieces if you're trying to do something really really big. So yeah, and then of course there's the personal stuff like, um just get things in order with my life and stuff. So so I will share that with all of you. I'll document as much of it as I can. I will also be giving you a I'll also be like, whenever I do go out and spend time with my dog, with my family, any kind of trip, I'll bring you with me. If I do an exhibit or a museum, if I visit a museum, I'll bring you with me as well. Stuff like that. Just a glimpse of what I do on a day-to-day basis as much as I can. Most of the time I'm home because this is where I work. But every now and then I do go out, just to look at paintings or whatever. I'll take you that. I'll take you with me. I like exploring new places. Or even if it's like a cafe or something, I like doing that. So I'll bring you with me as well. Speaking of puppies, he's under here. Dabak, you want to show yourself? Do you want to come here? No. He's not even responding to me. I'm publishing a book soon. No surprise in fearless DMs from me. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Yeah, she is. So, the old proverb, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. Correct. So yes, so that yes, it's too hot for me. That's one reason I can't go out a whole lot. I actually do a lot of hiking, but it's just way too hot. Like, the only time it becomes bearable is around 7, but that's like 30 minutes away from, or an hour away from sunset. So not exactly an ideal time for you to go out. So but I do a lot of hiking. I usually, as much as possible, especially now that my mom is here, I like taking her somewhere in the weekends. I'll take you with me if I think it's interesting. Maybe one time I'll show you her shopping and see if you're gonna get frustrated. I don't shop a lot. She loves shopping though, so I accompany her. But maybe it'll be interesting for you to see her shop, fit all of those clothes and stuff. So I was hoping we would see Debak. Oh well, please give him a pet out for us. For me. Okay, let me try and see if I can coax him out. Debak, Debak, Debak. You want to come here, baby? Debak? No. Oh, here. Come here. Say hi. He decided to grace us with his presence. Come here. Yeah. Hello. Hey, want to see you, Vivi. Mm. Yesterday he was so irritated with my hair. He keeps on getting. Say hi. There you go. And say hi. Hello. Hello. Hi. You want to tell them about how you pooped this morning? No? It's usually my mom who takes him for a walk in the morning. So we interrupted his nap. Yes. So, okay. So those are the things that you can expect. And then if there's anything that you want to know, if there's any question you want to ask me, I'll be more open to answering them here because, as I've said, this is what it is for, right? Because everything is Deba, you got $5. Oh, your travel. We'll add it to your travel fund, okay? So that when we go to Korea, I can take you with me. How's that? You want that? Say thank you. Say thank you. Hmm? Thank you. He's trying to be cute to all of you. Thank you very much, A Brown. But yeah, if there's anything that you want to know, as I've said, this is the purpose of this community, because I want to be able to be a bit more unhinged, and I guess I gave you like a sample of that on my regular stream because there's a lot of people that are there that could misinterpret what I'm saying. I just want to avoid it to promote peace and harmony in the community. But here, because that is the assumption that you're paying because you kind of want to get the complete stories, then I'm more willing to do it. Um, yes, he is such a great dog. See, that is his way of saying, now scratch me. You saw that? That's his way of saying, okay, scratch me now. Scratch me, mom. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I know that, as I've mentioned before, I'm still, if you bear with me, as we get our bearings together, we get into the groove of things, then things are going to be like it'll flow smoother, and then yeah, and it'll get better eventually. There will be also for this week there's a separate YouTube's exclusive for subscribers. It's a video, just a pre-recorded video, so that's the goal. I'll do once a week or once every 2 weeks live stream, and then weekly there will be a video. And then yeah, I'll just share a little bit more of what I do with you guys. And then if there is a topic you want me to cover, will the live be the same time next week as well? I think so. This time works, right? Hopefully your next members only live will be a similar time, so us Europeans can join. This is a good time, right? 12 noon is a good time. If it is a good time, I'll keep on doing it this way. And honestly, the reason I am, becoming very, very picky. I do have some job offers, but I'm becoming very picky because I realized that this is really the priority that I have, and if that job is going to keep me from doing this, and I won't take it. So this is a priority. So if this works, then yes, I'll keep on doing it at this. And look at my dog. Look at my dog. He's in heaven. Will this chats mostly be on Friday? Can it be a later time, like 5 p.m. PDT? Later is better for me. This is middle of work. Because you have work. What if I move it to weekends? By the way, there will be times when I will still be like on the spot. I'm just going to, without warning, I'm just going to go on the live stream, especially if I am in a place where I think it's going to be interesting. Then I will just turn on the live stream and I'll just, if you're there, then you're there. Okay, time, no jobs. It's great morning PST. Later is better for me. Okay, we'll experiment with the day. Maybe I'll do like weekends. I'll try weekend, and then I'll try, and then whatever works better is what we will settle in. But just as so you know, my goal is to do a pre-recorded video exclusive to you guys, at least once a week, and then do a live stream at least once every 2 weeks, if I can, every week, outside of the impromptu, most likely impromptu live, or if I do like a live stream when I'm doing something. Like, just for an example, sometime next week, I kind of want to go back to Getty, because I haven't been there in a while. I kind of want to go back there. So, and that I'll probably do either on a Friday or on a weekend. So I'll just like open, or probably Thursday. So just open it and then just take you with me, right? So outside of the scheduled live stream, I'll do live streams like that. Okay, look at my dog. He's in heaven. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Just request if there's any topic that you want me to cover, just request and I'll do it. And if you have any questions, will if I miss, will the live be available later for rewatch? Yes. So I will not take it down, and but I will also just keep it for members. Great live plus marketing course. Thanks, Fairly, and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you all. Bye.